But when Katrina hit, I was sitting at my computer monitor watching, and I saw something I never thought I'd see in America. I saw for 4 days Americans without food. I saw for 4 days Americans without water. I saw that for 4 days Americans had no shelter. And I was brought up that your first moral obligation is to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, give shelter to the homeless. That is our first responsibility as human beings on this planet. And this administration and this Congress failed Americans and failed as human beings, and that's wrong, and I want to stop it. It's very simple. Is that since 1980, the Republican corporate elite in Washington has been leading this country astray. That corporate elite has been leading this country astray with a very tempting message. If you turn your back on your neighbor, you can have riches. If you turn your back on your neighbor, you can have power. If you turn your back on your neighbor, you can have glory. That message is what's gotten us into the predicament we're in today, where they're shipping our jobs overseas, our energy prices are out of control, and health care is going out the roof. That has to stop now. So we need to change the direction of this country, because they are leading us astray. We need to put back in America the true values of what it is that I will look after my neighbor, that I am responsible for my brother. Yes, I am my brother's keeper, and to say otherwise is false and something that I reject. So what I'm telling you today is that we can have hope for a better future when we return to the values that made this country great. And I know it can happen because when Americans demanded change and demanded action, we got Social Security, we got Medicare. It didn't come from the politicians in Washington. They didn't want to hand that out. It was something the workers and families of this country demanded for themselves and their neighbors. When we got civil rights legislation, there was no Washington elite up there saying, what can we do to help Americans today? Where are the problems out there for average working families? No, it was the people of this country that rose up, talked to their neighbors, called their neighbors, took to the streets with their neighbors, and changed this country for the better, and that's the way this country works now, and it'll work that way in the future if we never forget what made us great. So we are a stronger, more prosperous nation when we look after our neighbors. We know that is the simple rule going way back. And every time we deviate from that path, we go down the road to destruction, we go down the road to oppression, we go down the road to poverty, and we turn our back on our Constitution. So what I'm here to tell you is what I'm going to do is fight for well-paying American jobs. I'm going to fight for affordable health care. I'm going to fight to make sure that we have affordable energy and that we keep America safe at home and respected abroad. When you judge this president and this Congress by any of those measures, if you judge them on jobs, if you judge them on health care, if you judge them on energy, if you judge them on foreign policy, they have failed. And I'm going to ask you, ask one simple thing to your neighbor. If you performed on your job this way, if you had a job performance this way, what would your boss tell you? You're fired. They want loyalty from us. They want to stay the course. They want to continue to ship jobs overseas. They want to continue to drive health care costs up. They want to continue to drive our energy prices up. They want to continue to sow the seeds of disrespect and discord around the world. That is not America. We can hold them accountable because we're their bosses. That is what the 4th of July means. Right there in the Declarations of Independence, it asserted for the first time that governments are based on the consent of the people. I'm here to tell you that the American people have withdrew their consent from this government. It is time to have a change. We're going to go in a new direction. So when your neighbors tell you, but Democrats are immoral. Anybody ever tell you that? Yeah. They're going to tell you that. And so what do you say? What happened under Katrina? For 4 days, Americans were without water. For 4 days, Americans were without shelter. For 4 days, Americans were without food. And this government did nothing, not because they were black, not because they were Democrats, because that this government simply doesn't care what happens to the American people, because that's what they do every day when they ship our jobs overseas. They drive our health care up, and they drive our energy prices out of control. We can take it back. So I want you to tell them, they said, but then you hear the other one. Democrats don't have a plan. You heard that? Anybody or Democrats don't have a plan? And you say, yes, we do. We're going to go after well-paying American jobs, affordable energy, affordable health care, keep Americans safe at home and respected abroad. And they're going to say, but yeah, Democrats don't have a plan. They're going to do that to you again? And you're going to say, yes, jobs, health care, energy, safe at home. But Democrats don't have a plan. Okay, I'm going to do it again. Jobs, health care, energy, safe at home. And then they're going to turn to you and they're going to say, and safe at home. Jobs, health care, energy, safe at home. This is what we're going to do. This is the direction we're going to lead. Staying the course is dangerous. It offers no hope. It offers no future. What can I do? I can be a voice there that represents you. Each and every one of you can be confident that I will be your voice. Why? I'm a history professor. My wife's a school counselor. We're in the future business. This is what we do every day. We take your children, we take your young adults, and we help them create an opportunity so that they can build a better future. That's who we are. That's what I wanted to be all my life. I wanted to do what my daddy did, serve this country. Right now, we have a group of leaders in this country that think that leadership means telling people to throw stones at their neighbor. They think that leadership means grab a stone, look at those people, throw it at them. That's wrong. Leadership means getting down on your hands and your knees and washing the feet of those around you. That is the signs of a true leader. That's not what's happening today. So I want you to know, when I go to Washington, I'm going to take the values with me that I was brought up with. And I'm going to keep in mind what my brother told me. When I told him I was going to do this, he said, Glenn, I don't want you to win. I said, why? He said, because I don't want to lose my little brother to Washington. That hit me. Because I think that's where most Americans are. They've been betrayed. They've been hurt. They've been stabbed in the back. And that's what keeps them away from the polls. I want you to be confident that when our American government works for all the people again, that we will have a stronger, more vibrant America. We will have a brighter future. We will be able to celebrate Independence Day and say, and liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.